So Yvonne, how many flights are we talking about here?
Well, Sherry, we're still trying to run a tally, but we have confirmed with American Airlines as well as United that Chinese aviation regulators have in fact canceled some of these flights, or have ordered to cancel some of these flights from entering into the country. At least 6 American Airlines flights, and United saying that they have had to cancel that route from San Francisco to Shanghai on 6 days later on this month. This is a pretty popular route. They make 4 weekly flights usually. And Delta, no comment so far, but these flights are among 60 between the two nations that China has ordered these U.S. carriers to cancel. That is according to Reuters, as they try to step up their fight against COVID. But these sorts of disputes have been brewing for much of last year already, as we deal with the different pandemic restrictions and as tensions between the U.S. and China rise. The two are still engaged in talks right now when it comes with aircraft cleaning requirements right now. After back in December, there was a Delta flight that had to return back to Seattle. So this is another blow, obviously, to the aviation industry, especially before the Lunar New Year holiday. We're hearing from Airlines for America. This is a lobbying group for these U.S. carriers, saying that they are concerned about the implications of a disruption and are continuing to assess the impact to operations. They are in communication with both sides of the U.S. and China government to identify a path forward that minimizes the impact to travelers.
And Yvonne, we're hearing that Hong Kong's also expanding its ban on flights to the city.
Right, so that's been expanded when it comes to flights being banned when it comes to these Group A nations. So flights from these designated high-risk countries are now banned from even transiting Hong Kong. This just comes a week after they cancel flights from 8 countries, including the likes of the US, UK, and Canada. And this was kind of the big bombshell for many parents. Primary schools, no school starting this Friday until the end of the Lunar New Year holiday as they assess the situation. So Carrie Lam, the chief executive, saying that this was a difficult decision when it comes to shutting schools, but what prompted it was that there were some COVID infections among children. So that raises the concern there. But the suspension of flights, at least what we're knowing so far, that starts this weekend on Saturday and will run through February 14th, so after the Lunar New Year holiday. But there's just, after just a cluster of cases, we are seeing some of the strictest pandemic measures here in Hong Kong being reimposed since this pandemic began. Carrie Lam did also say they're singling out Cathay Pacific and doing a full investigation on whether their staff followed these pandemic restrictions. This is after the latest Omicron outbreak was linked to one of their airline staff. The chief executive also mentioning that there could be more funding to support businesses. We should be knowing some more details later on this week.